Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you for a moment from the heart. I don't know who this message is for, but somebody in here needs to hear it today. Don't waste another year of your life. You've already wasted enough time explaining why you can't, why it's hard, why it didn't work before. Time doesn't care about your excuses. Time keeps moving whether you do something with it or not. See, the biggest mistake people make is thinking they have time. You keep saying, and next year I'll start. Next month I'll change. One day I'll chase my dream. But let me tell you something real. One day turns into 1 year. 1 year turns into 5. And then you wake up wondering where your life went. You don't get refunds on wasted years. Time is the most valuable asset you will ever own. Yet is the one thing people treat as if it is unlimited. Every single day that passes is a piece of your life you will never get back, and the tragedy is that most people don't realize its value until it's already gone. You wake up, repeat the same routine, tell yourself tomorrow will be different, and then years pass without anything truly changing. Time doesn't announce when it's slipping away. It doesn't warn you before it turns into regret. It just keeps moving, quietly taking opportunities with it. When you waste time, you are not just wasting minutes or hours. You are wasting chances, growth lessons, and a version of yourself that could have existed if you had acted sooner. People often say they are waiting for the right moment. But the truth is the right moment is a decision, not a date on the calendar. Wait and feel safe because it allows you to avoid responsibility. As long as you're waiting, you don't have to risk failing, being judged, or stepping into discomfort. But safety comes at a cost. While you are waiting, someone else with less talent, but more courage is moving forward. While you are waiting, life is happening without your permission. Dreams don't die suddenly, they fade slowly through delay. Every time you choose comfort over effort, you trade a future reward for temporary ease. The hardest part about valuing time is realizing how much of it has already been spent on things that didn't matter. Hours lost to distraction, years given to people who never believed in you, energy wasted on fear and self-doubt. You can't get that time back, but you can decide that it stops here. The past should be a lesson, not a life sentence. Too many people stay trapped in yesterday, replaying mistakes, blaming circumstances, or waiting for motivation to magically appear. Motivation follows action, not the other way around. The moment you start taking responsibility for your time, your life begins to shift. Discipline is how you protect your time. It's saying no to what feels good now so you can say yes to what feels great later. It's waking up when you don't feel like it, working when no one is watching, and choosing progress over pleasure. Discipline isn't punishment, it's self-respect. When you respect your time, you respect your future. You stop letting days slip by unused. You start treating each day like it matters, because it does. One focus year can change your entire life, but only if you stop wasting it. The scary truth is that nobody is coming to save you from wasted time. Life does not slow down because you are confused, hurt, or afraid. It keeps moving forward. And one day, you will look back and realize that the life you have is the result of how you used your time. Not your intentions, not your excuses, not your plans, but your actions. Time rewards those who act and punishes those who hesitate. It doesn't care about potential, it responds to effort. When you truly understand the value of time, you stop postponing your happiness and your purpose. You stop saying someday and start saying now. You stop waiting for permission and start taking ownership. Every day becomes an opportunity to move one step closer to the life you want. You may not control how much time you have, but you always control how you use it. And that choice, made consistently, is the difference between a life of regret and a life of fulfillment. Comfort is one of the most dangerous places a person can live because it feels safe while quietly stealing your future. When life becomes predictable, when your days look the same and your challenges stop stretching you, growth begins to slow down. Comfort convinces you that where you are is good enough, even when deep down you know you were meant for more. It whispers that change is risky, that trying something new might disrupt your peace, and that staying where you are is the smarter choice. But comfort has never built greatness. Everything meaningful in life exists on the other side of discomfort. Most people don't stay stuck because they lack talent or opportunity. They stay stuck because they choose familiarity over progress. The known pain feels safer than the unknown possibility. You may not like your job, your situation, or the version of yourself you've become, but at least it's familiar. Stepping out requires effort, courage, and the willingness to look foolish while learning. That's why so many people settle. They trade their dreams for routines and call it stability. Over time, that choice drains passion and replaces it with quiet frustration. Comfort slowly lowers your standards. You stop pushing yourself the way you once did. You accept results that would have disappointed the younger version of you. You tell yourself that this is just how life is, that dreaming big is unrealistic, and that ambition is for someone else. But inside, something still burns. There is still a voice reminding you that you haven't given your best. Ignoring that voice doesn't silence it. It just turns it into regret later. Growth demands discomfort because change requires you to become someone new. New habits feel awkward. New goals feel intimidating. New paths feel uncertain. But discomfort is a sign that you are expanding. Muscles grow by tearing. Minds grow by being challenged. Character grows by facing resistance. If everything in your life feels easy, chances are you are not growing, you are coasting. And coasting always leads downhill eventually. One of the biggest lies comfort tells you is that you have time. It convinces you that you can stay where you are a little longer and still change later. But later is not guaranteed. Opportunities pass, energy fades, and responsibilities increase. What feels manageable now can feel impossible later. The longer you stay comfortable, the harder it becomes to move. Comfort strengthens fear and weakens courage. Stepping out of comfort doesn't mean you won't be afraid. It means you move despite the fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision that your growth matters more than your comfort. Every time you choose discipline over ease, effort over excuses, and purpose over pleasure, you reclaim control of your life. Small, uncomfortable actions done consistently create massive change over time. The moment you decide to challenge your comfort zone, you send a message to yourself that your future is worth the struggle. You begin to respect yourself more. Confidence grows not because life becomes easier, but because you realize you can handle hard things. Comfort may feel good today, but growth feels better forever. Fear has a way of quietly controlling lives without ever announcing itself. It doesn't always show up as panic or anxiety. Most of the time, it disguises itself as logic, caution, and being realistic. It tells you not to take the risk, not to speak up, not to try again. It convinces you that staying where you are is smarter than stepping into uncertainty. Over time, fear builds invisible walls around your potential, and before you realize, years have passed without meaningful movement. Fear doesn't just stop progress. It slowly shrinks the life you were meant to live. Many people believe fear is a sign that they shouldn't move forward, but in reality, fear often appears when we are standing at the edge of growth. Anything new threatens the comfort of the familiar. A new goal threatens old habits. A new identity threatens the person you've been pretending to be. Fear shows up because change demands courage, and courage always feels uncomfortable at first. The problem isn't fear itself. The problem is allowing fear to make decisions for you. What fear does best is exaggerate consequences. It paints worst-case scenarios in your mind and makes them feel inevitable. It tells you that failure will destroy you, that rejection will define you, and that embarrassment will last forever. But the truth is, failure is temporary. Rejection is often redirection, and embarrassment fades much faster than regret. The pain of trying and failing is far lighter than the weight of wondering, what if, for the rest of your life. Every successful person you admire had to confront fear repeatedly. I'm not going to eliminate it, they learn to move with it. Fear never fully disappears when you are chasing something meaningful. If anything, it grows louder as the stakes get higher. The difference is that disciplined people refuse to let fear be the final voice. They listen to it, acknowledge it, and then act anyway. Each time they do, fear loses a bit of its power. Faith plays a critical role in breaking fear's grip. Faith doesn't mean certainty, it means trust. It means believing that even as things don't go as planned, you will survive, learn, and grow. Faith shifts your focus from what could go wrong to what could go right. It reminds you that your ability to handle challenges is greater than your fear of them. When you choose faith over fear, you reclaim control of your choices. Fear also thrives on isolation. When you keep your dreams to yourself, fear grows louder. When you speak them out loud, take steps toward them, and surround yourself with people who encourage growth, fear begins to shrink. Action is fear's greatest enemy. The moment you take action, even a small one, fear loses its ability to paralyze you. Momentum replaces hesitation and confidence begins to build. Life rewards those who move despite fear. It doesn't promise safety, but it offers growth, strength, and fulfillment. Fear will always offer comfort in exchange for potential, but the price is too high. Choosing faith and action over fear is not a one-time decision, it's a daily commitment. Each step forward is proof that fear does not get to define your future unless you allow it to. Excuses are the silent thieves of our potential. They sneak into our thoughts, convincing us that what we want is impossible, that the timing is wrong, that we are not ready, or that circumstances are against us. Every excuse may feel reasonable in the moment, but each one comes with a hidden cost, the cost of wasted time, lost opportunities, and dreams left unfulfilled. People often make excuses because it is easier than taking responsibility, because admitting the truth about their lack of action is uncomfortable. But every excuse is a choice, and the repeated choice to make excuses slowly shapes a life that never reaches its full potential. Most excuses are rooted in fear, disguised as logic. I can't start now because I don't have enough experience. Or I'll begin tomorrow because today is too busy. Or I don't have the resources yet. These sound like valid reasons, but in reality, they are ways of avoiding discomfort. Deep down, you know you could try, even imperfectly, even with what you have right now, yet the mind invents reasons to justify inaction. Excuses are the mind's way of protecting itself from challenge, but they end up protecting you from growth instead. The danger of excuses is that they accumulate over time. One missed opportunity leads to another, one delayed decision leads to another, and before long, months and years have passed without meaningful progress. Excuses keep you in a cycle where your intentions are never realized. You might talk about what you want, what you dream of achieving, but words alone do not create results. Action creates results. Every time you give in to an excuse, you train yourself to accept less than what you are capable of. Over time, this erodes confidence, ambition, and even belief in your own potential. Excuses also rob you of accountability. When you blame circumstances, other people, or lack of resources for your lack of progress, you give away your power. Accountability is the foundation of personal growth. When you own your choices and stop making excuses, you reclaim control over your life. You begin to see that while you may not control every situation, you always control your response. The power of choice is one of the most liberating forces in life, and excuses are the chain that keeps it locked away. Breaking free from excuses requires radical honesty with yourself. It requires admitting that the real reasons for not moving forward are often within you, your fears, your doubts, your lack of action. It means looking at your life without filters and asking, am I truly doing everything I can, or am I hiding behind convenient explanations? Once you face that truth, you can begin to take steps, even small ones, toward the life you want. Each small action chips away at the power of excuses. Action is the antidote to excuses. Doing something, no matter how imperfect, proves to yourself that you are capable. Taking steps toward your goals builds momentum, confidence, and clarity. Excuses can delay you, but consistent action accelerates you. Over time, the accumulation of small actions produces results that no excuse can undo. Every choice to act instead of justify becomes a brick in the foundation of your future success. Excuses may feel harmless in the moment, but their cost is real and heavy. They waste years, drain potential, and leave you wondering what might have been. The life you dream of is not built on reasons why it cannot happen. It is built on decisions to move forward despite fear, uncertainty, and imperfection. Stop giving your power away to excuses and start giving it to action. The sooner you do, the sooner you will live the life you were meant to live. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be, yet it is one of the hardest qualities to develop because it demands consistent effort, even when you don't feel like it. Most people underestimate its power because it doesn't offer instant rewards. Discipline doesn't feel glamorous or exciting in the moment, but over time, it compounds into freedom, achievement in the life you've always dreamed of. Without discipline, talent, intelligence, and good intentions can only take you so far. It is the daily choices, the repeated actions, and the ability to stay committed even when motivation fades that create lasting success. The challenge with discipline is that it requires you to choose long-term benefit over short-term comfort. It asks you to wake up early when you'd rather sleep in, to work on your goals when the easier choice is distraction, and to persist when quitting feels simpler. Every time you choose discipline over desire for ease, you are training your mind and body to value progress over pleasure. This is not just about willpower. It's about creating systems and habits that support the life you want. Discipline is what turns intentions into results. One of the greatest misconceptions about discipline is that it means doing everything perfectly or never allowing yourself a break. That's not true. Discipline is about consistency, not perfection. It is the ability to keep going even when life is hard, even when mistakes happen, and even when results are not immediately visible. Small, consistent steps every day produce massive change over time. A single disciplined action may seem insignificant, but when repeated, it compounds into habits, and habits compound into a lifestyle. The cumulative effect of discipline is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Discipline also strengthens character. When you resist short-term temptation, you build mental toughness. When you follow through on your commitments, even when you don't feel like it, you develop integrity. Discipline teaches you to honor your word, first to yourself and then to others. This builds confidence because you know that no matter the circumstances, you have the ability to control your actions. In turn, fuels more disciplined behavior, creating a positive cycle of growth and achievement. Many people struggle with discipline because they wait for motivation to appear before taking action. Motivation is unreliable. It fluctuates depending on mood, energy, or external circumstances. Discipline is not dependent on motivation. It is a choice, a commitment to act regardless of how you feel. The disciplined person doesn't wait for inspiration. They create momentum through action. Every time you do something disciplined, even when you don't feel like it, you prove to yourself that your goals matter more than temporary comfort. Discipline also shapes your future in ways that immediate gratification cannot. Life is full of opportunities disguised as challenges. Without discipline, these opportunities pass by unnoticed or ignored. With discipline, you are prepared to take advantage of them, to work hard when others are resting, and to push forward when others give up. It allows you to consistently invest in yourself, in your skills, and in your dreams. The results may not be visible overnight, but over months and years, the disciplined person experiences exponential growth, while others remain stagnant. Ultimately, discipline is the quiet engine behind every success story. It doesn't seek recognition, it doesn't rely on luck, and it doesn't boast about its efforts. It simply works day after day, building a foundation for a life of achievement, freedom, fulfillment. Every small act of discipline today is a vote for the future you want to live. It transforms ordinary days into extraordinary results, and it is the key to breaking free from procrastination, excuses, and wasted time. Discipline is not a burden. It is the pathway to a life you will be proud to call your own. Faith rewards action, not intention. Too many people spend their lives planning, hoping, and wishing, yet they never take the steps necessary to turn their dreams into reality. Faith is not a passive state. It is an active force that requires movement. You cannot simply believe that something will happen and then sit back waiting for it to arrive. God, the universe, or life itself, whatever you choose to call it, rewards those who take bold steps, who act on their convictions, and who persist even when the outcome is uncertain. Intention without action is like a car without fuel. It may look ready to go, but it will never reach its destination. The problem with relying solely on intention is that it gives a false sense of progress. People can convince themselves that thinking about their goals, visualizing success, or making plans is enough. While these are important, they are only the starting point. Action transforms faith from a concept into reality. Every time you act on your beliefs, you strengthen your capacity to achieve. The smallest steps taken consistently build momentum. Each action becomes proof that your faith is not empty, it is alive and working. Fear often blocks action, even for those with strong faith. People fear failure, rejection, or embarrassment, and they hide behind the excuse that God will provide the right moment. But the truth is that the right moment is created through action. Faith moves first and opportunities follow. Those who wait for perfect conditions rarely achieve anything because perfect conditions almost never exist. Life rewards initiative and courage more than waiting and wishing. Acting in faith is like planting seeds. You do not wait for the harvest to appear before you sow. You take the steps today knowing that growth requires patience and persistence. Action in faith also requires consistency. One bold step may start the process, but repeated effort is what sustains it. Many people begin with excitement, but quickly fade when results don't appear immediately. Faith is strengthened through persistence. Each time you act, you learn, you adjust, and you grow. You discover your strengths, confront your weaknesses, and gain the resilience needed to continue. Action turns faith into skill, confidence, and eventual success. Without it, faith remains dormant, a potential that never materializes. Another critical aspect is trust. Acting on faith means trusting that your efforts will yield results, even if the path is unclear. It means believing that your consistent work, discipline, and courage will eventually produce the outcomes you seek. Trust does not eliminate obstacles, but it allows you to move through them instead of being paralyzed by doubt. When you combine faith with action, every challenge becomes a lesson, every setback a stepping stone, and every risk a necessary part of growth. Faith without action also teaches accountability and responsibility. It reminds you that while guidance, blessings, or opportunities may come from outside, the results depend on what you do with them. Life does not reward intention alone. It rewards those who act with purpose, determination, and integrity. The universe responds to effort, energy, and commitment. Acting in faith is a declaration that you are willing to do your part, to show up consistently, and to persevere until your vision becomes reality. In the end, faith is not a passive waiting game. It is a call to action. It challenges you to move forward, to take risks, to trust in your abilities, and to refuse to let fear or doubt dictate your future. Every action fueled by faith compounds over time, turning dreams, events, and intentions into tangible results. Faith, when combined with persistent effort, creates a life of impact, fulfillment, and purpose, proving that belief alone is not enough. Only action brings dreams to life.